We may well feel proud that we're the 10th best country in which to conduct business, but there are 9 others ahead of us. And it's interesting to see the number of areas where we can actually do something about it ourselves. We can do something to solve this.
The most important matter for this government, this Oireachtas, is dealing with the issue of those in mortgage distress. We get the exact figures later this week, or early next week. We're up to 25% of mortgages are in distress, over 10% in 90 days of arrears. I've mentioned all these figures time and time again since last October. On this matter, I'm not going to move an amendment to the order of business today, but I'm going to ask you, Acting Leader, to give a commitment that you will speak to the Minister for Finance in his office and see that if the Minister will come into this House next week.
But then there are the lifestyle factors that are also fueling this epidemic. And there are things that we can do around changing people's behaviour, around food, nutrition and physical activity. So there are things that we can do to make an impact on the cancer rates. So that projection is not set in stone. Cancer rates are not fixed, they're not inevitable. Many cancers are really very preventable.
We talk in government especially about preparing reports for various things, but I think we have everything here in what's said. There's not a need for any other report. Its action is what's required.
So what does the Orange Order stand for today? One of the reasons we are such an enduring organisation is that we continue to stand for the 2 key principles which we have always stood for, namely faith and fraternity.
I stand before you this evening, Senators and Minister Kathleen, firstly as a mother who struggled for 24 months, day and night with my husband Jonathan, to nurse a child who, at that time, the state took the view that babies cry anyway, they get lots of colic, some of them are up every night for months. But in fact, when you have somebody who is tube fed and who's having epileptic fits every 20 or 30 minutes, and it takes 22 hours a day if you're lucky to get through, he will break down the family, he will break up your marriage if possible, or she, and it's a horrific experience.
As we approach National Children's Day this Friday, I think it's appropriate that I draw from the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, and in particular Article 9 on separation from parents. It says state parties shall ensure that a child shall not be separated from his or her parents against their will, except, and it goes on, that such separation is necessary for the best interests of the child.
I think that it's very clear now that there is a need for this government to act and to pass legislation to clarify the grey area that undoubtedly exists for doctors when confronted with situations like that of Ms Halappanavar, where the life of the woman is threatened by the continuance of her pregnancy.
Today marks the 90th anniversary of the establishment of the 1922 Seanad. I think it is fair to say that today Seanad Éireann is playing a greater and more effective role in our parliamentary democracy. As you are all aware, this newly elected Seanad is determined to modernise its procedures and actively engage with the civic society.